Welcome to Dying to Retire. I'm Doug, and today we're going to discuss a topic I never wanted to face and never really wanted to talk about. Today's topic we're going to go over to is the loss of your pet. Our best friends, it's going to happen as we approach retirement or while we're in retirement. We're at that frickin' age. It's going to happen. And pets, to me, are more than just companions to people. They've become our family members. Do me a favor, stay to the end because I'm going to put links to some websites you can go to look up about pet loss, cope with the loss, all the wonderful psychological phrases people use, but they're going to be websites at the end. Use them. Hopefully they'll help. So let's dive in. I'm going to cover this first part, and apologies to any of the women listening and watching out there, is I'm going to do this from a man's perspective because there's a unique bond between a man and their pet, especially if it's a dog. And I'm going to first cover it this way. Pets in retirement, they're more than companions. They're vital. They help us do a lot of stuff. Cats, like the one I have sitting right here, not a rescue, she's feral. Her mom was feral. Cats own you. They treat you a little bit different, but dogs are very, very important, especially the relationship between a man and a dog. Because they, like I said, dogs are man's best friend. Want to know why? Men know it. Because it's the closest a man will ever get to unconditional love with their pet. Won't get it anywhere else, but it's with their dog. Dogs are happy to see you no matter what time of day. They don't ask for a lot. Just feed me, make sure I have a place to stay, keep me warm at night, and wonderful stuff like that. And the dog will love you forever and do their best to be your best bud, especially if it's a damn good dog. But men don't get that very often. You never really get it from a spouse. And you never get it from a family member. A few maybe, but not a lot. You don't get it from the workplace. Really don't get it from the workplace. So you guys know what I'm talking about. The dog can be an emotional anchor. They provide comfort when it's scarce for most of us men. And we're men. We're told to be stoic, and nonverbal pet communication between both of us, your pet and yourself, it helps us have an emotional solace that we can use. Now, reason why I think pets are very, very important. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. When we got our dog in 2007, later in that year, my brother-in-law passed. And if it was not for we needed to take care of that young puppy, my wife would have spiraled a little bit and why did her brother die? And he died a young man. Why did it happen? Why did it occur? But we had the responsibility to pet and help take that mental load, that anguish off because we had to refocus it towards taking care of the dog. That helped a lot. Also have a close family member who has addiction issues. And he got to a point, his children were grown, not married, but he had two dogs that he loved. And he kind of realized he had to get straight to be able to take care of those dogs. Those dogs were through him, saw him do probably some stupid shit. The dogs stayed his dogs and loved them. And he realized he had to get his act together to take care of his dogs. And unfortunately, he lost the last one this year. Also have a young gentleman friend of mine, also a fellow Marine, my son's age, Iraq, Afghanistan era veteran, and suffers from PTSD. He has a dog. Work sucks. You've heard me talk about it, the toxicity in many of the workplaces, especially in the federal government. He has that dog to go home to. Luckily, he's single. Stay that way. Marriage can be hell. It's, sorry, it's a joke. Don't get mad. But he has that dog to take care of. He can go home, go jogging with the dog, take care of the dog. Dog's never going to judge. He can talk to the dog about how shitty the day was, how that boss, or even when I was there, was an asshole for the day. Dog's never going to judge. Never going to say, quit your bitching, quit your lying. A dog will never say, suck it up, buttercup. Probably thinks it once or twice, but it never says it out loud. And if you hear your dog talking, you may have an issue. Right? It's kind of there. And for me, come home after a hard day, I always took out my dog for a walk. Wife didn't want to hear how shitty my day was. She would want to tell me her day, but she really didn't want to hear mine. If the wife got mad at me, I could always take the dog out for a walk. Me and the dog used to love walking the perimeter around the house. We have a small yard, so we'd walk the perimeter because it was his. But you could have that time to talk to the dog, and the dog was never judging. So it's a fantastic release for men to talk to the animal, a dog, without fear of being judged. Again, that unconditional love, that unconditional respect that an animal will have for you, the dog. Now, I know we have that stoic face that we have to put on, that emotional reality that I just briefly covered ahead of time. We men are told not to show emotions, and our pets bring it out. They'll let us to be a little bit, even if it's with just them. So while there may be societal pressures to remain stoic, the pain of losing a pet is real. Don't hide it. Like I said at the very end, there's going to be some links for you to go to look at that may help deal with a loss. The other thing I'm going to even mention is because you know how it's hard to talk to some of your family members or your spouse because, again, unconditional love is hard. People will judge you for being emotional. We know that. If you shed a tear, you'll be emotional. Shit, look what they did to Alexander the Great. They said, hey, he shed a tear, how many thousands of years ago about a loss of his brother in arms, person he grew up with. And now they said they had a certain type of relationship. Stupid on steroids. So I'm going to offer this one. Go to AI. I mean, I have Twitter, so you have Grok, but you have ChatGPT, you have Perplexity. There's a few others, and I'll list them at the back end as well. You can go to those and put in how you're feeling and talk in there. It's kind of like going to a therapist without having a therapist, without having the therapist's money you have to pay. They're not going to be judging. They're going to give you straightforward answers. They're not going to hold it against you for another day. It's not, oh, you got mom issues. No, they're not going to say that shit. Doesn't do any of that. There may be a database collecting shit somewhere, but it's got so much stuff going on. You're a needle in a stack of needles. So don't worry about that. So highly recommend doing that because the next part is one of the hardest part, and I'm not going to delve too deeply in it. It's recognizing the signs. We know what we're talking about. We don't have to go into the specifics, but we know the signs. Difficulty in mobility, confusion, the quality of life isn't there for our dog. That's when we have to no longer be selfish about what the dog gives us. And now we have to make that hard decision for our dog. We all want our animals to die peacefully at night in a good sleep. It's not always going to happen that way. You're going to have to be able to take it to the vet, have it humanely put down. That's one of the things that you're going to have to do. It is your best friend. And it's hard because that animal has always expected safety and had safety and comfort from you. Whenever that dog went to the vet or your pet went to the vet, it always knew, even if it was there for a few hours or a day, you came and took it home, back to its home. And you're going to be doing that, but what's coming back are the ashes, not the dog. So it's rough, but you're going to have to push through that. So highly recommend, like I said, the different AIs and the links I'm going to have at the end to look at those and go through them. And it's non-judgmental on there because you're going to have a lot of emotion going through you. No shit. But you're not going to get suck it up buttercup. And if any comments like that, suck it up buttercup and this, guess what? I'm going to hit fucking delete. I don't care. All right. Lastly, let's wrap all of this up. Losing your pet is like losing a piece of your heart. It is losing a piece of your heart. And it is okay to grieve, especially as men. It is okay for us to grieve. Let that shit out. Do it whatever way you can. Like I said, AI, go to these websites here we're about to put up. Do any of that, but it's okay. Also recommend sharing your stories about your pets. That's one of the best things. It's like sharing your stories of your best friend. The funnier, the better, because that's how you should remember your dog, not when it wasn't feeling as well, and do at its best. Now, this is where you can do me a favor. If you're experiencing this loss, your story is yours to share or keep. If you want to, please put it down in the comments section. I'll make sure I'll delete. If anybody's being stupid, because there's always stupid people out there, let me know. I'll take them out. Share your stories, share your photos, anything you want to do it. Just put them in there, especially men. Do it. That's all for today. I'm Doug. This is Dying to Retire. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and I catch you in the next episode.